Hey, what's up, guys? A new day, clean shirt, ready to go to work. I'm going to check a few things out on Mad Max today. I'm going to check and see if I have room for a standard length starter in between the bow housing and the cross member. I never really thought about checking that when I put the motor in, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I can use one of the starters I have. If not, I'll have to buy one of those new gear reduction high torque jobbies. Eventually I'd like to have a pneumatic starter, so if anyone has one laying around for Detroit, let me know. Otherwise, let's just see what we got. Do the 80-pound belt press. Oh boy, there's nothing fun about that. Well, you want the good news or the bad news?
Just give it to me straight, Doc. Am I dying?
Huh?
I said, give it to me straight, Doc. Am I dying?
Nope, but there ain't no starter fitting in there. And that is not a good situation. Hey, Tess. I think move that in there. Ouch. Let's see. These starters would weigh a ton. I'm not even sure that the new starter I put on Crystal would fit in here. Huh. That's pretty interesting. So looks like it's going to be about an inch low and an inch too long. I think I actually think the new starter I put on Crystal will fit. If I had 2 inches difference. It looks like 2 inches. And then move that brake line. Man, piss poor planning on my part. Just exactly what I didn't want to have to deal with. Yep, piss poor planning. Okay, yeah. So I've got 2 options. I can order a starter and it'll be here Wednesday. Huh. Or I can spend an hour taking the starter off Crystal and put it on here, and then order a new starter for Crystal, and then spend an hour putting it on. What do you think? Do I have anything else I can do today besides? I wanted to get a starter in here. If I put the starter in here today, then I would have flushed out the oil system, oiled this thing up, and cranked on it for a while and got some oil pressure, and you know, I think I have a couple of stuck injectors on this side. Yeah, just one. I have one injector that needs some work, this one, and then I have this injector that needs to be changed. Thought one of these, yeah, this one over here is not even the right injector. What is this one? This one's a 9225. So yeah, metering rod's just completely gone out of this injector, so I need to take this one off and pull that injector out and replace it. And then this one is a different injector, but I think that one will come around. This one's good. This one's not good, but this one might come around. And man, these springs are in bad shape. It's not the top, it's the bottom. So this injector spring's probably no good. So I actually need to put 3 new injectors in on this side. So maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll order some injectors and order a starter, and then if they come in before I take off this month, I'll stick them in. These springs aren't horrible. The injector spring is bad. So maybe I'll just replace 3 injectors. It's about $300. Maybe I'll just replace those 3 injectors and just be done with it. These push rods aren't the greatest, but if this motor runs good, I'll probably buy 3 sets of push rods and a couple sets of rockers. These rockers are really in bad shape, so I'm going to take this one off anyways and clean it. So let's see what else we can do for today. Great. But I really wasn't I really didn't think I was going to get this running this week anyways. I just thought since it did pretty good on that side over there, you know, that I could just whip it out and do it. Even if I didn't, I do have one injector. Maybe I'll just switch that injector and see what happens. You do have it? And that starter's the new gear reduction one, right? And it's got like 3 solenoid thingies on it and one on the top. Okay, and it's shorter, like it's a lot shorter and lighter than the old ones, right? All right, when are you coming this way? Okay, sounds good. All right, thanks. Bye. Okay, so I got some brake hoses, some brake chambers, and the starter coming for this, so we can keep on going. Maybe I'll change that one injector. Yeah, let's do that. I get the angle on the camera. I know I need a point of view camera, and oh, that's really horrible. I will get you one. This looks good right here. It's kind of a glare from the outside, which sucks. But for me to be able to see, it's super important. Yeah, we're going to take this one off. We'll replace the seal on this drone. While this is off, I'll clean it up real good. Everything else looks pretty good. Those are plenty tight. That's weird. This one is the opposite way. The lock nut's on the drone and the seal is on the master. I don't really care, but I guess it's just the way they're drilled and tapped on one side. That way you can use them. You can't use them on either or. Yeah, it's kind of cruddy. We'll clean it up. So this one should be easier to rack out of the way. Yeah, we'll just pull them up. Maybe take that cross pin out as well and, you know, clean that thing up. Yeah, it's pretty crappy. Let me see. Get my little tabulator. Okay, that's not in bad shape. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's sweet. So the fitting is loose on the injector. So I just have to reach in there with a wrench and hold it. Of course, I'm going to need the right size wrench because the wrong size ain't going to cut it. All right, let's see if we can get that up in there. Yep, get that up in there and we'll hold it and break that line loose. Okay. Okay, that one's up. Okay, this side's a lot cleaner than the other side, so I should be able to get that injector out without having to worry about getting any crap in it. Yeah, and it came out a lot nicer. I'm just gonna poke that down in there. Yeah, it's too bad this metering rod's screwed up. This injector probably would have been fine, but they were trying to fool me and make the injector work, so I wouldn't notice that it was hung up, and they broke the metering rod off. There we go. Okay. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. I wonder if I did that right on the other one. I'm gonna have to pop that valve cover off and just make sure that one's all the way seated. This valve right here is pretty bad. So is that one. Might end up with some broken valve springs. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking online for some valve springs, and I'll look and see if anybody's changed them while the heads are still on. This motor, again, this motor may or may not end up being good. You know, you just don't know. These oil galleys are plugged in this pin, which means it could have these rockers could be ate up too. It doesn't look horrible. Now I'll clean those up real quick. that. I'll polish this stuff up right quick and I'll be back. Put in. I've been thinking about putting a manual trans in it anyways, but just not really 100% set on it or not. It's 25 foot-pounds. You know, you'll hear me say that a lot because I've checked that tool 100 times, and every time I've tightened a bolt with it, it's come back to be right at 25 foot-pounds. So, here's what it is. Let's see. Okay, so that's in there. We can bring these down. Bring this other one in. Yeah, that fits so much nicer now. I don't mind spraying this all down with this penetrating oil because it, you know, it's going to eat a little bit of that rust out of there, and you know, it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. We're going to flush the system out anyways. Okay, so when I look at these, the one with the circle goes over here, and the one without goes over here. And remember, these two were the same, so it doesn't matter where we put them. As long as we put the flat towards the rocker arms. This pin I couldn't get out anyways, so it doesn't really matter. I know it's if it's not right, it was not right by somebody else. All right. And I do know that I forgot to put the drone on. I just want to make sure these are lined up. Looks nice. And I could put the drone on, or I can do let's do the fuel injector lines first. Let me find that one. I'll go clean it up. I'll be right back. You know, some of them are pitted really bad, and they may crack. You know, the thing about injector lines, what's that? Look at that. What is that? I found that down in the valve cover. It's interesting. We're going to put that right here. And then, oh, I know what it is. That's the seal from the fitting on the other injector. Yeah, interesting. 25 foot-pounds. I'm not really sure. That one's just not cooperating. This one. And I think it's just rusty. But that will stick it in a high RPM condition. But it really is. I mean, it is shitty. What I'm going to do is I'll hook up a fuel system to this, and this don't feel right either in here. I'll hook up a fuel system and let it run through these injectors for an hour and see how that works. We're going to change this, broke it off. So we're going to take these fittings off, replace it with a new one and a new filter. And then the inlet, instead of going through the fuel pump, we'll just plumb that into the gas tank and electric fuel pump. And then we'll just run this fuel system for an hour or so and see if we can get the injectors cleaned up. Let's give it a go. Now I could just spin a new filter on this and run the inlet, but I need to put a new mount on there anyways, so let's just do it, you know. Okay, that one's loose. Ow. That one's loose. And anticipate this one will loosen up too. That'll be the wrong direction though, so we'll want to do the other loosen. Alright, I did that all without you being able to see anything that I did, but anyways, I just used this worm gear wrench and I loosen these hoses up. Now, these two are outs, so it's really no big deal. It's really no big deal how we put them. One is to, that's not true. Something is going to do something crazy because the return line is missing. So we're going to have to find that. But I know that this one here is the inlet to the fuel pump, and this one says in. So, oh, this is the outlet from the fuel pump. So, you know what that means, right? So the thing is, the way this fuel system works is there's a fuel pump on that's driven off of the blower, off the front of the blower. And now that's a blower, not a supercharger. We'll talk about that if you need to. But Detroit diesels are not supercharged. They have a blower. And what a blower does is blow air. It's not like a turbo, you know. Anyways, we won't talk about that because that's for another day. I thought I already loosened this one. Which one of you guys told me this was loose when it wasn't? Thought I already did that one. Which one of you guys lied to me and said that one was done? Oh, look at that. There's some diesel fuel in there. Yeah. So yeah, that's what happened before. I thought I had a hold of it, but I didn't. And so what we'll do now is get the right wrench for the job. Well, isn't that something special? You know what we're going to do? We're going to find a place to wedge this. We're going to let that pour all over the floor and on the top of my boot. And then we're going to put a little mustard on it. I was about to use magic, but I didn't want to use it all up. You guys know that stuff isn't free. You only get to use all your magic once in a while. Okay, so I got this other one. I'm gonna go and take the fittings out of that. I'll be right back. All right. So after, oh, that's kind of weird. Black and white. We'll look at that in a minute. Well, I don't think this is going to work. Holding on to this is probably a bad idea. Oh, worked just great. Okay, that looks good. Oh, it doesn't look good, but you know what I mean. I think this is a different thread. Yeah, that's a different thread. 120. I think that'll fit just fine. Okay. All right, that looks fine. So I'm gonna try and figure out how to get this to be not black and white. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take these fuel lines and I'm gonna hook up both sets of heads with fuel, and then I'm gonna plumb in a 5-gallon can with the pump to pump through the filter, through the heads, and return back to the tank. And we'll let that run like that for an hour or so. So I'd say somewhere in here, let's see, what's this? That goes around to the front. I don't really know what that is. Oh, tastes horrible though. I can tell you that much. Not really for sure. I wouldn't expect that to be the return fuel line. It's a mess. Okay, so I got my handy, never let me down Aeromotive fuel pump, and I got my suction line that goes in my tank. Handy yellow for diesel fuel gas can, which, you know, I hate wasting fuel like this, but you know, it is what it is. So you stick the old sucky line in there, and then we work out what size this is going to be. That's going to be an 8. I don't have what I need. This is like an in between the AN fittings, and I need a 3/8 pipe to something or other AN. So I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had a phone call come through. I hate to say it, but that sure looks like that injector is leaking. Yep, that injector is definitely junk. Let me turn that fuel off. We'll take that injector out and give it a look. Doing over there. So, don't think I'm going to be able to make this work. This injector ain't even the right one. Oh, and of course, that fitting's turning. Putting the 892 in crystal. Got Jake brakes for it. I still have to do, man, I have so much to do. I have to put, I've got Jake's for Trisha. And yeah, these injector lines ain't even close to being tight. Thanks a lot, Bob. Appreciate that. Yeah, that guy thought he was going to do me a favor and put an injector in this and then only have to do the job. Like an idiot. So probably got this cylinder full to the top with diesel. Man. And you know, if you don't know what you're doing, it's okay. It's okay to not know what you're doing. A lot of times I don't know what I'm doing. But if you don't know what you're doing and you're trying to get something, you know, you're trying to rig something up for a customer, you should at least tell the customer, hey, you know, we tried to rig this up, but it just didn't work and we've left everything loose. And it's just a good thing that I was looking, because if I'd have started this thing up, and who knows what would have happened with this all loose. I mean, just makes me mad. Just no reason for any of it. I think I'm gonna change this because I've got this one out anyway. So I think I'm gonna check this injector out. I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna clean that drone up and just see what happens. Next time, I don't know. So I made a deal with myself a long time ago. I always said, hey man, you know, don't try and save a buck, because every time you try and save a buck, it bites you. Just spend the money, do it right the first time. You'll be so much happier that you did, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, tried to save a buck buying this motor. I should have just bought one that was running. It would have made me a lot happier, but oh well. Ain't nothing I can do about it today except for just fix it. tool. Okay, that's nice and loose. Oh yeah, I think that's full of goodies. This little puppy is, yeah, that's not even, that's just stripped out. That's from them beating on that, and that's just all stripped out. Yeah, that's nice, real nice. So this injector's garbage. So that leaves me -1 injector for the startup. And look how crappy that is. Pretty horrible. Horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Ooh. Yeah, they almost screwed up. These are set already for the height, so we want to mess these up. So I'm going to do this one first. And that's gross. I should ought to take that injector out and polish it up. I'm surprised it even works, to be honest with you. I think I will put these back in here for right now. And polish all this stuff up first and get it back in there. And then let's just get this one ready. Oh man, further I go, the worse it is. Yeah, that thing's rough shape. just so you know. I think I will do this side first. Put it back together. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. I got all these pieces just set in there, and then I took these pieces and cleaned them up. So now I'm going to pull this injector off, clean up around it. This thing's in bad shape too, so I'm just going to get it clean and clean as I can anyhow. Clean up these injector lines. It's just nasty. This thing must have sat under a running faucet for about 10 years. It's horrible. The guy totally lied to me. Said that, oh yeah, this thing's, you know, it's got less than 100,000 miles on it and blah, blah, blah. He says, oh, it's got one stuck injector because, you know, because it's been sitting. And that happens. You know, diesel fuel is garbage. So that didn't surprise me at all. Oh no, that's nasty. Super nasty in there. I'm going to I'm gonna get a towel down in there real quick before something bad happens. That'll save me a ton of headaches, you know, with all this rust just caked up around there. Just general mayhem. Yeah, it's horrible. Jeez. Pull the valve covers off them before you buy them, boys. Make sure the guy who had it before you ain't full of shit. This guy was a liar. Straight up liar. So it is what it is. It ain't good. Okay, get these cleaned up. I'll be right back. Off of there and stick an injector in it. This one is missing the seal, so I'll stick one in there real quick. I wish I had one more injector. If I just had one more injector, I would turn this fuel system back on and let it run for an hour and work all those injectors and see if I can get them all going right. And man, I'd flush this oil out and start this thing. I mean, it's that close. I see that the oil drain plug must be loose, or the oil pan's cracked, because all the crap that I just washed down in there got down in the oil pan and now it's all over the floor. So I think what I'm going to do next is put you on a time lapse on the other camera and put the door up and unhook all the fuel system, put that stuff all away, then clean up the shop, clean up this big old mess underneath there. And I may get a drain pan under there, get the oil plug out, and pour some diesel down in the valve covers and get that crap all washed out. And since I'm pretty much done, you know, creating rust, maybe I'll get that all done and get the put some oil in it. And tomorrow the new starter's going to be here, so I'm going to try and get that to fit. I may have to tip over a little. I may have to do a little grinding on the bottom flange on that frame. We'll see. The new starter weighs about 40 pounds, and these old big starters weigh about 80 pounds. So it's going to be a big difference putting it in there. And it's a little shorter. We'll see if it fits. If it doesn't fit, we'll notch out what we have to notch out and get the starter in there tomorrow and get it to where we can turn it over. And I may just stick a dead injector in there and start it on 5. I mean, it'll have a miss, but... All right, guys. So I couldn't resist. The starter came for Mad Max, and so I stayed out in the shop for just a little bit longer, and I'm going to show you what's up. All right, let's see if this, see if we can get this starter out. Let's see about that, putting that new one in. Man, this thing weighs 100 pounds. Dang it. Let's check this starter. See if she'll go. I sure hope it will. Much lighter, so much more power. Please fit in there. Well, so it's going to fit. It's gonna fit, I think. All right, there it is down there. You zoom in a little bit before you see it. We have clearance. It's touching that brake line, but we'll move that brake line, and it's ever so slightly rotated because that, if you see that oil pressure sending unit right there, it's got a big old sending unit on it into that pipe, so it's hitting the solenoid. But the good news is that's coming off anyways, because there'll be a hard line and a regular gauge. So tomorrow I'll have this bolted up, and I might let it sing a song of turning the motor over a little bit and see how it goes. It may have a miss, but at least I get to start it. We'll see how it goes. I hope there's not as much rust inside the engine as there was under the valve covers, but likely there will be. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by today. I really appreciate you guys all coming. You know, I'm glad that you find some of the things I do interesting, and so far, yeah, I haven't been flamed too hard about the way I work. Man, it's just it's a good time. I never really thought this was going to be as much fun as it is, but I really enjoy doing this, and you know, I'd love to be able to do it full time, but in the meantime, you know, show you what I can when I can. Every minute that I'm home and out in the shop, I'll have the camera running and we'll see what happens. This is only Monday. I've got some taillights coming for Tricia tomorrow. I've also got some brake chambers and some brake hoses. I'd like to maybe do that tomorrow. Get the starter on this tomorrow. Get it whirling over. See if we can make some oil pressure. Maybe we'll make a little smoke. And then I need to, oh yeah, we'll talk about that later. Anyways, thanks again for coming by. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Click that button right there. Click that button, that subscribe button. Just click it and subscribe. If you don't have an account, just create one real quick. It's free. You don't have to, post videos on it, but you can, and you never know. People might enjoy watching some of the things you do. But if you don't have an account and you can't subscribe, create an account, then come back and click this button, this one, subscribe, and let's see if we can hit my goal. Thanks so much.